Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Abundance. We all like that word. We all wish that we all had abundance. But I was very charmed by a woman who is a hypnotist, and her name happens, it's not Abundance, but that's the name of her company. And her name is Gloria Stanchak Alexander. And she actually is what we call a board-certified hypnotherapist. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's we talked, I think, a few weeks ago, or when I first met you, that people don't even understand hypnosis. They think that you put them into this state where you can get them to do anything, right?
That's what they think, and that is entirely incorrect.
Right, I know that.
People don't realize that when they allow themselves to be in a hypnotic state, they have more power and more control over how they think and what they say than in the normal waking state.
Yeah, that's true. And I have had a lot of experience with this myself, and I love it. I love to be in I call it an alpha state, where I'm just so, relaxed. But I hear everything, I know everything. But it does take someone like you to guide them to what they want. And then tell me, when you do get patients or people, let's say, people who come to you.
I have clients.
Clients. You have clients.
It's illegal for me to have patients. Right. I have clients.
Okay, so they're clients. So these clients come with certain situations.
Correct.
What are many of them?
Many clients come, basically, they're not sure who they are. They really don't get in touch with their own identity. And when I give them a client's bill of rights, I give them my bio, right? And then I say my specialty is helping people get in touch with who they really are.
Well, that probably goes a long way. Some of them probably don't want to know what they
really are.
Well,
I'll tell you, one of the things I have done, and believe it or not, when I was about 9 years old, my mother used to like to watch the Loretta Young show on Sunday evening. She wasn't much for TV, but she loved the Loretta Young show, and she liked the Craft Hour. And my bedroom door did not have a lock on it. But so she used to tie it, so I was supposed to be in bed, asleep. I was a kid because Loretta Young came on at 10 o'clock. But I would pull the thing and look through. She did a show as a psychologist who was working on a PhD. And I don't quite remember, though, whatever her first statements were, but she created a thing where she went on the streets and interviewed people in all phases of life. It was fascinating to listen to this. And she would say to them, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to tell me the first three things that come to your mind, just spontaneously. And the question was, who are you? And the answers were phenomenal. So when I came to Florida, my first workshop I did was at the church. The minister let me do it. And I called it a spiritual workshop for better health. And the first class that I had with them, I said to everyone, I want you to write down on a piece of paper. I'm going to ask you one question. And I want you to write down the first three things that come to your mind. Who are you? You have no idea what you find out about a person when they write those answers spontaneously.
Who are you, eh?
Correct. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm this, I'm that. I had one woman that I worked with who had weight management problems. She was sent to me from two other clients who had that issue. So we were doing this thing, and she wasn't going anywhere. And it turned out that she had been a closet eater, and as an adult still was. She would go out and properly eat almost nothing, go home, and God knows what she would get into. And when I found out her story and how that happened to happen, it was phenomenal. She had a sibling that had a very serious illness. The mother spent so much time, over doting on the sibling. And she became a closet eater, out of frustration. And she'd go and sneak around at night and do this. But at any rate, so here she is with me. At this point, she's middle-aged. She's got a good job.
She very overweight?
Yes, she was. The last time I saw her, I didn't know who she was. I walked right by her. She was slim. But anyway, it turned out I'd say to her, who are you? She said, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and whatever the last thing was she said. And I said to her, now look, you have been divorced how long now? You are no longer a wife. That is past tense. Who are you now? You are not a wife. You're not a mother, you're a grandmother. And your children are across the country. You are free and independent to be who and what you are. Well, we had this discussion, and then we did all the hypnosis things. She came back to me once more, and she got involved with Fat Eaters Anonymous, whatever that group is. First, she went to the one in West Palm. She didn't care for it, and she went to one further down, either around here or Fort Lauderdale, whatever. And I didn't hear from her for a long time, and I asked a couple of friends, how's she doing? They said she's doing pretty good. And then some months ago, I saw her. She was sitting next to me at this Friday night group. I didn't know who I was talking to. And she says, Gloria, don't you remember? Oh, I'm sorry. She is a thin woman and a very happy woman.
And so you attribute that to how many sessions did you have with her?
Maybe 3.
And you helped her know who she was and that what she didn't want to be, probably.
Right. Now, she is responsible. We tell everyone that comes to hypnosis, my job is to coach you. I don't put you under the table. Everybody says, what are you going to do when you put me under? I said, I don't know. I really have no intention of putting you under the table or under the couch or the bed, whatever. I don't put you under anything. I guide you forward. What we're doing in hypnosis, we are guiding you. We're progressing your ability to open up and be more aware of all that's around you and be more in touch with your higher self. My daughter, when I went up to meet my granddaughter for the first time, right? My daughter was in the kitchen or in the bedroom, and I was in the baby's room, and she, had the rocker, and I'm rocking the baby, and I'm singing to her Perfect One, and her father is Irish and Italian background, right? And I'm singing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, but I'm saying When Hayden Sage Is Smiling. All those good things with the baby. And later on, my daughter was saying, Mommy, I was in tears. I said, why? She said, I remember when you did that with me. My God, I did that with my daughter when she was less than 6 months old. I'd be singing to her like that.
Wow.
She remembered. Now, if she remembered in her 30s, how does this affect all of us who've had negative experiences? We remember that and we don't know it, but it's in our neurotransmitters.
That's so interesting that you say that. Let me just tell everybody, you are listening to it's really a hypnotherapist. And I was going to say psychologist, but it's funny. I know you're not, but yet you do move in those areas, and I do understand that. But a hypnotherapist, her name is Gloria Stanchak. Stanchak. Sorry, well, you're a star.
Okay,
so
thank
we'll make
you.
You star.
Like it. Okay, love it.
Stanchak Alexander, and she actually is a trainer to do this. I think it's important we talk about that. So if any of you are listening and you're interested in learning how to be a hypnotherapist, the name of her organization is Abundance Hypnosis, and she can help you do that. Let me give you her phone number. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio, and the phone number is 561-683-4220. 683-4220, or you can you can call that number, and we'll make sure that she knows that you listen to her show and that you want to do something like that. So I suggest, though, that maybe you come one time and learn and see what Gloria does. Now, Gloria, let's just keep following through this. So I'm sure that people who smoke come to you because that's another very serious, even probably more serious than the overeating.
The problem with it works, okay? But the thing with smoking is some people instantly stop smoking after one hypnosis session. I had a young man call me some years ago. He said, "You're the hypnotist?" I said, "Yes." That was way back when we still had yellow pages. And since I'm not a computer geek, I got more business when I was in the yellow pages. One reason my company is Abundance, it was A, first thing you look at. That's why. A in the alphabet, right? At any rate, he called me and he said, I want to stop smoking. And I said, okay. And then he said the wonderful magic words. He said, 30 years ago, this is the young guy. So what was he, 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old, right? He said, 30 years ago, my father went to a hypnotist and he came back and he never smoked again. I said, come on in. The door is open. I did a little bit of work with him based on what his habits were, gave him some changes, and he left a non-smoker. But he was a non-smoker before he ever walked in my door.
Why do you say that?
Because he was hypnotized. He went into a pattern change, a belief change instantly at the age of 5. When his father went to that hypnotist, came back a non-smoker. That went into his permanent belief system at an age when things go in and stay permanent.
This is fantastic. Well, let's go back on you now. I mean, this is great. I want to find out a little bit, and I know the audience would like to know more about you. When did you discover all this for yourself?
Well, it may sound crazy, but when I was little, TV was kind of young in that, right? And I used to love these old movies. And there'd be the Dracula movies, right? And there would be movies like The Shadow and, all these great.
Those, yes.
Yeah, I like detective stories. I love mysteries. I just enjoy that a lot. I like to figure out who it is. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I just enjoy that. It's good for the mind. But at any rate, I used to like to watch those. And for some reason, at that time, some of these movies would have the perpetrator, let's say, right, would be doing hypnosis on people. You know, these old mansions, right? And then
right.
There was one movie I remember, I don't remember which of the actors. It could have been Boris Karloff or one of them, right? You know, the dark hair and the goatee, right, and the mustache, dark, bushy black eyebrows, right? Black suit.
And the woman was usually in white.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because she had to float, right?
Well, no, but anyway, the woman would be there, right? Elegant looking. And I remember he would have this pendant on, right? He would have a pendant on, but a big one. And he'd have her staring at this pendant, right,
exactly.
back and forth.
Right.
Whatever he would. And I remember this one particular woman in this weird movie, right? All I remember is she left the room and she went out like in a trance, didn't notice anything out about her. She went out of the house, down to the water, down to the ocean, and went into the ocean. I don't know if she ever came out or not, but I was fascinated by that. I mean, I really was fascinated. But when I was in college, I was failing trigonometry. Well, let's put it this way, I had a 0 average. I was attempting to be in pre-med. So I heard that the school counselor, whatever, did hypnosis, and we had a 15-minute break where people could go get a coffee or a roll, muffin or whatever. And I made the appointment with that person to have this hypnosis session with him, and I told him my math woes. And he's looking around the room, and he says, excuse me, and he had the drawer open. He had broken his belt buckle, right? So the drawer is open. His arms are going this way, right? And I'm thinking, I need to get hypnotized. What in the I'm really annoyed, right? And
Little did you know.
No, that's right. But at the same time, he's going like this. So my eyesight, right, and listening to his voice. So I've got a verbal, and I've got
a visual and a
visual,
verbal.
right? And as far as the kinesthetic, I was supposed to in a blah state, right? I'm watching him, and he's telling me about this. Write this on a card, put it in the mirror. I can get an A. I must get an A. I will get an A. The 3 I's, right? Fine. And I left there, and I went to the class, and I was disgusted. I thought, now I went to get hypnotized, so it still didn't work. But this teacher gave a trig quiz every day. Now, I, as a rule, in my life have always been good at memorizing things. And I was good, and my father helped me, and my mother a lot with that, associating so how you could remember or spelling, what have you. I was good with that. But for the life of me, when it came to this trigonometry, I could not associate signs. I just couldn't get a handle on that. So I went in that day, took the test, totally disgusted as usual. Came in the next day, and the teacher said, Miss Stanchak, I'm so glad things are looking up for you. I had 100 on the trig test.
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness.
thought, okay, I got to get a hold of this guy. I want to know what happened. What did he do?
Yes.
What he did was really nothing. he just had me so totally distracted with the nonsense, with the belt buckle and whatever else he was saying, that I was so busy listening to him yakking about whatever that, right? I left the class, I left his office kind of disgusted, but at the same time, I still had my mind wrapped around whatever God knows he was telling me. Went in, sat down, did the test, and left.
So he knew what he was doing.
He
just
knew.
Did it
I
differently,
didn't.
Yes.
This is true for all of us. There is nothing that we have not heard that is not in our mind or subconscious. With hypnosis or something you can recall, because somebody gets you so relaxed or so totally distracted, you forget to forget. And you remember.
That's quite a
and
story.
I did that with my daughter. I had my daughter in a Greek American school because I wanted her. I never learned to speak Polish at home. And when I went to college and I was trying to take German for medical school purposes, right? I had a tutor, and she said, "Oh, Gloria, you're going to study German easily because you're Polish." I said, "But I don't speak it." She said, "What a shame, because Polish and German, the grammar structure is identical. And if I'd known one, I would have easily, didn't happen." But in my mind, I thought, I want my daughter to learn something. I didn't really care what. In New York, I called the Polish American church and school, and I said, I want to enroll my daughter so she can learn. But she said, "We don't teach Polish." What's the point of that, right? So her father was Greek, so I found the Greek American school. So there she is in kindergarten learning Greek. And her mother, who had taken like an introductory course about all I could say was Yasu and, Maristo, which hello and thank you. And here would be my daughter, and she would have to learn the Greek. She'd have to memorize it. And by the time she got in first and second grade, they were writing it and doing all of that. So every night before she went to sleep, she'd be, just about asleep. And I would say grace. When you go into the classroom, the moment you sit down, the moment your pen or pencil touches that paper, you are automatically going to open up to all the knowledge of the universe that you need at that time for what you were doing. Now, my cousin had a business partner. They had a hair salon down the street in the next block from the school. And we would visit them like on a Friday afternoon after school, and go out together, whatever. And so the fellow that she was partners with, he was impressed with my daughter. He said, "Oh, you're very smart." He said, "You know what, Grace? Every time you get an A, I'll give you $1."
Wow.
Well, in Greek, the word for that is arista. She came in every week with the A's, straight A's. He was sorry he ever said it. She got the A. She got the A's all the time. At a parent-teacher meeting, the Greek mother would grab me and would pin me against the wall. What's going on here? And they'd say, in their broken Greek and English, "How come your daughter has arista and our children don't?" And they called me the foreigner. I thought, excuse me, I think I was born here, right? But, in their culture.
Sure.
She had the A's. She had the highest grade in the class. Then for 2 years, I had her in a Montessori school in New York because there was political stuff in the church. By the 7th grade, I put her back in a Greek school. So when I went there, the principal said, "Well, she hasn't had Greek for 2 years. I have to get the Greek teacher. She might have to go into the remedial Greek class." So the Greek teacher comes in, takes my daughter out, and comes back. No, she goes in the regular class. She was number one all the time. But by then, we were living next to her godmother, who was very fluent in Greek, so she could go there after school and practice her Greek, right? She had the best grade. She was the top one in the top level of the Greek classes.
Okay, so let's go back. So now, you told us that what you said to her, but tell me how would that affect everyone?
It depends. I can't swear that it's going to affect everyone. I'm in no control of everybody's brain or thinking or their genetics.
Well, I want to stop because I know people are very excited about this. They want to know. I'm sure they have lots of things that they want to talk to you about. So This is the number to call, 561-683-4220. Again, 561-683-4220. And if you just want to be helped through hypnosis, that's fine. Or if you're interested in having Gloria Stanchak Alexander help you, because she does individual or group training.
Yes.
So now when someone comes in, just so that you make this clear for someone, you just meet them and you have them sit in a chair or lie down on a couch. What do you do?
I let them sit in a chair.
Relax,
actually, I got rid of the couch.
Okay, so they're going to sit in a chair.
Right.
And how are you going to find out a little bit about them while they're sitting?
Well, I'm
or
very
when they first
gabby.
come in?
As you know, I'm very talkative. Now, that gets on a lot of people's nerves. I have some colleagues that say, Gloria, you're very good at what you do, but you talk too much. Just give them one story, not 29, right? But I do that with a lot of people because people come in and they hear the word hypnosis, and they're like, okay. Just look at the body language. Relax.
Yeah, too bad
The
this
fear,
isn't
the fear.
television.
I
What
realize.
Gloria's doing is she's getting uptight on her chair to show.
Yeah, because people do this. So, I add your name, your address, yaddy-dee-daddy-dee-da, right? And generally, whenever they tell me something or they give me some subject about what they're interested in, I will ask them a few questions, and then I'll go into some details about other people or my own stories. I personally feel you have no right to tell other people how and what and why to do it if you really have no personal experience, if you cannot go from where they were to where they choose to be and the in-between.
So you let them talk it out, but you have made them relax to a point. Now, you're not using one of these little things that go back and forth,
No, I
right?
have it in my handbag.
Do you
to ask myself, should I go down this street or that street?
Do you have...
No, I
funny.
don't.
Do you use music? What do you use?
I don't use music. I love music myself, but I don't use music, and everybody wants to know why, because we have all this wonderful New Age music, right? And there's therapists all over the place. They'll sell you, they'll give you permission to use their New Age music and that. Frankly, I don't particularly like New Age music. I like Lawrence Welk.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
agree
most
with
people
you,
here probably had never heard of him.
No,
but
that's not true. The bubbles?
Yes, right. But when I hear that, and I remember when I was a kid and as a family, we listened to that. We had a good time on Saturday night. That brings total joy to me.
Sure.
So it works for me.
Sure. Okay, but let's...
I don't know what works for everybody.
Right.
So I don't use the music.
All right. I remember once for weight loss, I went to a hypnotherapist, and it did work. What she did is she actually spoke into a microphone for me and then made a tape out of it.
Yes.
And then I took that tape home.
Correct.
Now, have you ever done that?
I'm working on it now because I had a machine that worked very well that I no longer have, and I haven't been able to find one yet. But I bought recently I bought the external CD burner, and now I'm waiting for someone to teach me how to do it on my computer with Windows 10, which may as well be on Mars. But I have to learn that, and then I want to do that too. It's important.
Oh, okay. I didn't know but you're not doing it, and it's still working. You're not doing any recording.
No, but I'm working. I hooked up with another group in California, Ace Success, and this woman is phenomenal. She was going around as a kid hypnotizing people because her father did hypnosis, and he also had an advertising company. And he caught her doing hypnosis on the neighbor's kids, so he taught her how to do it correctly. And when she was about 12, apparently she wanted a bicycle, so he hired her to, call people for advertising. And when she got the appointments for him, then he paid her, and she bought her bicycle. So an incredible woman, Terry Russell.
Well, you really have great stories. Now I understand why people like to listen to you, because you have a great memory. I can hear that.
But what I like her system. She did it on me. I'll tell you what, she dared me. She dared me to have a session with her. And I was going to get all this stuff for free if I didn't learn something from her. Otherwise, when it got done, sure, I did. I couldn't believe it. I thought, yeah, she's going to blah, blah, blah. She's really, for me, she was phenomenal. I'm not saying she is for everybody, but for me personally, her voice works, her style works, her energy works, and I get the energy back I need because my mother passed away recently, and so I've been tired. But when I get her tapes on and I do it, I get the energy from myself I need right back. And I can get out there. I even iron again. I hate ironing.
So,
but it works, and she really works for me. But she's really got a good system.
and I have to tell you that this has just been such a wonderful interview. I'm just going to have to have you come back because you are terrific. I have to.
Oh,
I
I can't wait to get back. Right.
I'm mesmerized by you. So anybody, call Gloria Stanchak Alexander, and it's 561-683-4220. I just absolutely, and let me give you her website. It's hypnosistodayWithGloria.com.
Correct.
Oh, boy. Well, thanks so much, Gloria.
Thank you.